Finding video games when you're out game hunting in the wild is not quite what it used to be, but in 2021, we are still finding the games that we're going to talk about in this episode. Consoles, and we're also going to throw DVDs in there in great abundance. We have over a year's worth of our personal game hunting data to share with you and let you know what video games, consoles, and DVDs you should be looking for a quick flip in 2021. What are we drinking
Today starts Bad Beer Month here at Gaming Off the Grid, so today we're going to start with the classic, the OG, Pabst Blue Ribbon. This is an adjunct American lager from Milwaukee.
You just gave me Peeber fever, buddy. You know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss one of our bi-weekly uploads. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a Peeber if you care to, and stay tuned to this episode of Gaming Off the Grid.
Nerd. Keep gaming, keep drinking, and keep gaming off the grid.
So if you've hung around the channel before, you know we do our hunting videos, and those are great, and they're great insight of what to look for, but it's all over the board, and sometimes we find really rare stuff that if you're watching at home, you're probably like, I might never find that. But today we're going to talk about the easy, low-hanging fruit. They're not all home runs, but easy singles you can get in the video game console, and DVD game when you're out hunting.
Yeah, this data is insane looking at it. This is probably over a year's worth of data.
Yeah.
And we find these games all the time. But before we jump in, we got to open this PBR and take a little sip and see who has the higher card.
Yeah.
7 of
hearts.
clubs. Oh,
okay.
You win.
Well, playing a little war. It's Bad Beer Month. A little Peeber. Oh yeah, what do you say we clash this joint up a little bit? Bow chicka wow wow. Oh yeah, it's damn good. Crisp, it's divine, but we'll talk about it a little bit later. Let's jump into the video games though. By the numbers, you said it's been about a year, which is about dead nuts on. I started tracking this very heavily as the store started going crazy last June.
Yes.
And
during the pandemic, you know.
Keep in mind, we go out every single day. But this is the raw data of some of the shit we are finding out there. By far and away, we have found 14 copies, not including Wii Sports Resort. 14 copies of Wii Sports.
Of Wii Sports, which is such a common game. It was a pack-in with most Wiis. Everyone had that game. But what blows my freaking mind is how much that game is selling for.
Yeah.
Because that game was free.
So typically if you find disc only, we've been able to sell them pretty damn quick just in general. But disc only about $16.99. And then there's a pretty large gap. You know, $19.99 to $21.99 for the cardboard sleeve version. But I've had really good luck with the Nintendo Selects version because it's in a full case.
In a real case, yeah.
$24.99 roughly for that. You guys probably already know Wii Sports Resort is higher than that, but we're not going to talk about that in this episode because we've only found like 4-ish copies of that. Wii Sports, though, get out and get it. It's everywhere, and it's one of those games that the common knowledge of folks hasn't caught up to where the market's at.
Yes, it's one of those things that doesn't make sense. Why is this game selling for this much money? And I don't know how long it's going to stay this way, so now is the time. If you find Wii Sports, or if you have Wii Sports, flip it for easy money, you know?
We went through the game room and sold every freaking one we had way back like a year and a half ago when it started.
We had so many. We had like 4 or 5 copies, and we were like, we don't need these.
Yeah, and that's not included in this, because that was before we started tracking this, but it's out there. People are just getting rid of it, and to your point, do you guys know anybody who had a Wii that didn't have Wii Sports? So why is it going for so much? I just think maybe the nostalgia is starting to bite on people. Sticking with the Nintendo Wii, you're going to see a common theme here. Mario Kart Wii.
Mario Kart Wii, which is a fantastic Mario Kart game. We found 10 copies of this in the last year. We find this almost everywhere. Yeah. It's so crazy, and it's going for, you know, that $20 to $30 mark, which is an easy flip because at thrift stores and stuff, what, $4 to $5?
Yeah, I would say that it's right. I think you're right on the nose with the price because there for a while, I was getting them to go pretty easy for like $29.99 and $28.99. The last few that I had, I had sat on them for a while, and I think we still have like 3 copies listed CIB. So this number of 10 could swell to 13 or 14 really quick. But I'm having a hard time getting them to go for like $25.99 to $26.99.
So maybe the market for Mario Kart is starting to dip a little bit, but still, that's over 20 bucks, easy money. And Wii stuff is just hot in general right now, and that could have been because of COVID and people were locked inside. I don't know, and I don't know how long it's going to last for. Same with Wii Sports.
Yeah,
you know?
and what's unique is the Mario Kart is almost, I think, a little not. It's not quite the same narrative as Wii Sports, but who did you know that had a Wii that didn't have Mario Kart Wii? And every time I pick up a bundle at a garage sale, you can bet your ass that there is a Wii Sports version in there, and there is Mario Kart Wii, and there is the third game that we're going to talk about in this section, new. Super Mario Brothers.
Yes, another one of the most common Wii games. We found about 5 copies of this in the past year, and we have 3 currently listed, so that's 8. This game is so much fun. It's a great family game, great party game, because it's up to 4 players. But man, this game is going for 15 to 20 buck range.
Yeah.
Which is still, if you find it for $3 to $4, sometimes at garage sales $1.
Yeah, and
it's easy money.
A lot of the reason for the price discrepancy here is, for whatever reason, these 3 games in particular, we find a lot of disc only.
Yes.
But don't not pick it up because of that. And, Wii discs, from my experience, they tend to clean up very well. So if you have to get them resurfaced or something, as long as there's not any deep grooves, but usually we find them and they're good enough that they can be salvaged and you can get them back in circulation, which is a really good feeling. So next answer is kind of a very wide casting net.
Yes.
But you just need to be aware, because I think people know Pokemon's hot, but for some reason there's still people getting rid of Pokemon games. And we may talk about a game here that hasn't been in a hunting video yet, which I hesitate to do. But Pokemon is hot. Across the Pokemon platform, we've sold 9 different copies of Pokemon games that we have found out in the wild for dirt cheap. We just found Pokemon Platinum version on the DS for $3.
For $3, and it was just the DS cart.
Yeah.
That game is going for what, 40, 50 bucks?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
We found on the DL Pokemon Gold, Silver, Blue, Yellow, Red. Even some of the offshoot stuff. There's one I have listed, Pokemon. It's a 3DS game. Dungeon Master something. I don't know. We'll show some B-roll of the listing. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a $15 to $20 game. And DS games, you just find them for $3. And Game Boy games, I feel like when people sell DS and Game Boy stuff, they just pile everything into a box.
They're just trying to get rid of the lot.
And yes, you're finding pets. You're finding all these shitty DS games,
Nintendogs.
Sudoku puzzles, Nintendogs. But if you just dig through there,
you're saying, how much just for
find
this
some
one
stuff.
game? That's the best way to do it instead of buying the whole lot.
Moral of the story is, if Nintendo's name's on it and Pokemon's name's on it, in 2021, pick that shit up. Because if it hasn't spiked, it's going to spike, and you can take that to the freaking bank!
I think people are just super nostalgic that grew up playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think that's what's... The kids that played it growing up are now adults with income, so that's why it's spiking. And who doesn't remember playing Pokemon growing up? I played it all the time on my handheld.
Nostalgia's coming early for this next game, I feel like. We've sold 9. We have 3 listed. Minecraft.
This doesn't make any sense, because Minecraft... But a lot of these don't make any sense. The video game market is so all over the board.
It's weird, because you think print run determines price,
Yes.
and you'd be wrong.
Minecraft is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's on computer. It's on every console. But man, we find it all over the place for every console that it's available for, and it's going for freaking... What, $20 sometimes?
Yeah. The one we primarily find it on tends to be the 360 version, which resells very quick and very well. But in this, so when we say Minecraft, we kind of, again, casted a wide net, because this does include a couple copies of Minecraft Story Mode. Moral of the story is, if you see Minecraft in 2021... you gotta jump on it. And, there's some other games that fall into this pocket, but we haven't found them, so we're not gonna do a deep dive. But like PS4 Skylanders, hot. Xbox One Skylanders,
Weird.
freaking hot. But it's weird because every kid has these.
And it's a newer thing. It's not like nostalgia. I played Minecraft growing up, but I don't have nostalgia. It's a weird thing.
I think my assessment of the Minecraft market, and this is just off the wrist here, is Minecraft has stayed as relevant or more than it has ever been, and it's been the same platform for the game for the most part, as far as the game hasn't changed a whole lot.
Yes.
So I think, you have a kid that's, young, that wants to play Minecraft, and a parent may be faced with, do I have to buy a Switch or a PS4, what do I get? And they see a 360, and they maybe have one laying around, and they're like, oh, well, he or she will enjoy Minecraft on 360. It's the same damn
it's
game.
the same game.
I think that's part of it.
It doesn't make sense. I do enjoy Minecraft here and there, but it just doesn't make sense. Easy money, because they're out there, and it's weird going back to some of our old hunting footage because we walked past so many Minecrafts, you know?
I just didn't think of it. And, you know, in the Minecraft vein, and this may be in a future hunting video, but keep your eyes peeled for 3DS games. You know, we've brought them up here a little bit with talking about Pokemon, but I just picked up 2 sealed copies of Minecraft for 3DS. Walmart had them discounted to like $8. Sealed.
Yeah.
It's like $25. Easy money.
Easy money.
Just keep your eyes peeled for freaking Minecraft, and you're going to be doing mighty fine, Porcupine. So those are the heavy hitters. We're going to give you a couple more here that I just think people overlook and don't think they're worth a ton.
Yes.
And, you know, on all these, we've included the price charting price and showed you some sold footage, and we will continue to do the same. But we'll go through these pretty quick. But Sonic Riders is one of those games that it almost kind of looks like a cheap title, even though we know it's not as game collectors because of Sonic. The Xbox version, it's a dinger. PS2 version, it's a dinger. And a lot of these are singles, you know, you're looking at $12 to $15, but when you're finding it for $1, $2 to $3,
yeah, it's still that's lunch money that you just got for free. Basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta think of it in perspective. $10, just easy money.
Beautiful racing game, Blur on the 360.
Oh, I love that
Keep
game.
your eyes peeled. One, if you find it and you don't have it, keep it. But it's an easy one to find. I think we found 5 or 6 copies of Blur over the last year. Easy flipper. Another PS2 game that I just happen to find all the time, I literally found like 2 in the last 2 weeks, is SSX Tricky.
Which is a
Awesome game.
weird game that it's... But I feel like SSX Tricky didn't sell as much as the other ones, so that's probably why it's so high in price. I don't know.
I think it did. I don't know. I know there's a greatest hits version, so it had to do somewhat well, but for whatever reason, that is the one
that people want.
It's like $20. An easy $17.99 to $20 flip out of, you know, probably going to find it for, again, $1 to $3. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And while you're keeping your eyes peeled for that, you probably should keep your eyes peeled for some video game consoles.
Yes.
Kind of the narrative here. It's just what's hot right now and easy to find. We've sold like 12 Nintendo Wiis and have 1 listed currently.
Dude, we find
last year.
Wiis all the time, and I feel like lately in the past month or so, we found them even more.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's since we're kind of coming at the tail end of the pandemic, people that bought them are now getting rid of them because they're going outside. I don't know, but they're out there. I love the Wii so much, and they still sell for hot. You know?
Depends on where you're buying them at. I just bought one at a pawn shop for $30. I just bought one last week, so that was 2 weeks ago. Last week, or no, the week we're in, the other night, I got one for $14.99 as a Starvation Army.
And that came with games.
So, you know, and I got a bundle at a garage sale of the Wii Mini. You guys know that cool black and red one? I got that whole bundle. I believe it was $25, and there was a bunch of games. So I would say $30 lid on that. I wouldn't pay more than that, but you should be able to find $30 and less. I'd say probably the floor being $10, and you should be able to sell the console. I would just say $60. $60 is a fair price. I've sold some for $59.99. I've thrown some games in. Like, I always keep a bin in my garage of just like shitty games that aren't worth anything. I'm not saying they're shitty games that have very little value. But those of you who sell, you know, if you put 4 or 5 games with something, it could even be some Maddens or something like that, but they at least have something to play when they get it in the mail. I've got upwards of $65 to $70 out of some Wiis, depending on what you bundle with it. It's just so easy to find right now, dude.
It's so easy. And then another console that's so easy is the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
We find PS2s all over. It just turned 20 last year. It's hot.
Yeah, it is. Definitely freaking hot. And the prices we're paying around here, now there's an anomaly, there's an outlier in our data. We found one at the garage sale for $1. No cords, no controllers. Worked great.
Fat PS2.
And we've also found them at thrift stores for like $19.99, that type of range. We found one that you would have seen in the hunting video if you do watch those, that was $6.99, kind of as is. So it's all over the board. Yes, you need to get them home, you need to test them. There was one, 2 weeks ago that I picked up at a pawn shop.
Yep.
I think it was like $25. Got it home. Played regular discs fine, but
not,
blue discs.
Not blue discs.
It was like,
dude, it was so loud. And we were like, get that game out of there ASAP.
Yeah. Let's get that back to the pawn shop. And so it's out there. And you've heard it on our channel. I'm sure you've heard it on other channels. The PS Mother Effin' 3.
Oh.
It's only gonna...
Dude,
it's gonna hockey stick real quick.
The PS3 console endgame market is absolutely insane right now.
Yeah.
It's going crazy, and I, again, don't know why. Maybe because of nostalgia reasons? I don't know. But we've been finding PS3s, we found 5 or 6 in the last year.
Yeah.
They are out there. We find so many different console variants, so many different model
Yep.
versions, and they sell. They're going for so much money.
Yeah, I think it would be safe to say if you're going like pawn shop route, don't pay any more than $70. Now, if you put a couple games, what's cool about the PS3 is there's still very cheap games that make a bundle look badass. You can put GTA 4.
Yep.
You can put any of the Uncharted games. You can put like a Killzone, a Resident Evil 6. All these games are like $3 to $5 games, and that's a badass bundle for somebody.
Yeah, so that's another tip if you're flipping games is when you make bundles, put those cheap games in there, and then when people see that, they're like, man, if I buy this, I have all these amazing games to start with. I'll pay a little extra for that.
Yep.
And then you can make that money super easily with just stacks of cheap games.
Found a couple at garage sales. I think one was 15, one was 20. Both came with games. Pawn shop would be kind of the high. I would say no more than 70. But if you're looking and scouring pawn shops, thrift stores, garage sales, I think that sweet spot for picking one up is probably 40 to 50 bucks. Facebook Marketplace, we don't do that, but we have a buddy who does. Gets all sorts of good deals.
Kills it on there.
So for consoles, you need to be looking for the Nintendo Wii, the PS2, and the PS3. 360s are very hit and miss.
Yes.
They're a dice roll.
Because of the Red Ring of Death.
And they don't tend to resell the best, so unless I find like an elite model or something that's really mint and really cheap, kind of stay away from it.
Yes.
Same thing for the OG Xbox. You know, I don't really mess with it because it's kind of hit and miss unless it's super cheap, which I think we found an OG Xbox for like $3 or something.
Which is pretty cool.
Last summer, we picked it up, but it's neither here nor there. Wii, PS2, PS3, bam. That's
now,
what you should be looking
depending on when you're watching this video, if you're watching it right now, this is what's hot, but in 6 months or up to a year, this data could be all wrong. The market's changing like this, you know? It doesn't make any sense. This is what it is right now.
It's a very fluid situation, no doubt about it. We also, and I think that a lot of gamers enjoy seeing this in our collecting videos. Correct me if I'm wrong, but DVDs.
Yeah, DVDs are hot.
Because we get tons of comments like, how do you know what to look for? How did you know that was worth what it's worth? And to answer that question, you don't. You get out, you do it, you grind, you see it, then you learn it, you know it. You watch channels, hunting channels, whether it's us or some better ones like, you know, Phoenix Resale or Retro Rick. Great data can be mined from every single one of their uploads. Retro Rick's really good in the DVD game. I think a lot of people look at his channel for toys and video games, but the most valuable information I pluck from Rick is in the DVD
It's
game.
the movies, yes.
So we're going to talk some DVDs fairly quick that we find a lot. Like, fairly frequently. That shouldn't be too hard to find. Now, you're not going to crush it with sales on these.
But they're easy flippers.
Easy. And they sell quick. CKY. You guys remember before Jackass, they had the Camp Kill Yourself stuff, Bam Margera, and that type of thing? You find them a lot of places, and they were pretty niched down, and they sell between typically $12 and like $22. We've been all over the board, depending on which one you find. Obviously, there's tons of different versions and seasons, and there's the trilogy, and the trilogy goes for like $22. The individual ones, you know, probably 12 to 14. But keep your eyes peeled for some CKY action.
Now, going back to that nostalgia, Britney Spears, Crossroads. What a babe. Crossroads, we find that movie so often. If you've seen our hunting videos, it's in it all the time. And that DVD sells for $14.99, $15.99, just like that. Such easy money because we find it for $1, $2.
Yeah, our most expensive place for DVDs in our area is $2.49.
Yeah.
We've got a store that's 99 cents, we've got a store that's $1.99, and we have a couple that are $2.49. But yeah, and you said, what a babe. I would say what a babe she was. She kind of...
Well, back in the Crossroads era.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Okay, I get
I'm
it.
not looking at her now.
Anymore, she kind of looks like... Gay! But, Dogma.
Ooh.
Didn't that, you know, that Jay and Silent Bob type
It's
universe?
in that weird universe.
The standard DVD sells for $12 to $14. But we have found like 3 or 4 copies of the special edition, and that's going anywhere from like $17 to like $22.
Yes. Which is weird. I think it's just such a niche movie because everyone knows about Jay and Silent Bob, but I feel like a lot of people don't know. It's those diehard collectors that are like, oh, I want to get my hands on Dogma.
Yeah.
Which is weird because we find it, but then it's Very weird.
And we have found it at pawn shops, garage sales, thrift stores. I mean, we just find this movie a lot. And it almost is getting to the point with all the ones we've mentioned, we don't really get as excited anymore. We're just kind of like, oh, hey.
Easy money.
Another copy of Crossroads. But it is funny when we can make hunting videos and kind of bag on that movie and whatever. So, the movie Kids, all caps, very colorful title. Another one we just find a lot. Doesn't sell for a ton, $10 to $11 to $12, but it's
dude,
literally...
That's probably one of the most common DVDs we ever find. And I've never seen it. I don't know what it's about. Based on that people keep buying it, it makes me want to watch it. Like,
well,
what is it?
Before we go any further, we got to mention the soundtrack from Kids. One of the best 90s alternative hidden gems that I can think of. Folk Implosion, Natural One. On this soundtrack, it's a killer soundtrack, but this song's one you got to go out and jam on right meow. We find that one so much that there has been, and it's not like it's not a home run. It's just an easy single, $10, $11.
Yeah.
I think there have been like 2 hunting videos in a row, possibly, where we're mining it down and we're cutting it to make it time sensitive and try making it like a digestible episode size. We've cut it out.
Yeah, because it's not that much of a flip. But it's still $10 usually.
Kids, finding it everywhere. The movie Grind.
Yes.
Skateboard fans, and I don't know why this is really hard. I'm actually looking for a copy now to send to a friend of the channel, Sam Azira, if you're watching. I will find you that movie. Yes, I will. You just wait. Just freaking wait for it. It's coming in hot. I don't know when I'm going to find it. But we have found it quite a bit. I wish I would have known Sam wanted that. We sent her a copy.
We used to find it all the time. What's really cool is it's in that cardboard sleeve, usually.
Give him the tip.
When you guys are looking at DVDs and you see that cardboard, just check it. Look it up on eBay, because usually movies that are in that cardboard, it's a limited run, smaller release. It usually is worth something. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I mean, a lot
just
of
look
times.
it up.
I mean, DVDs are weird.
Yeah.
Look for weird distributors or publishers. Look for that cardboard. Those are just little nuggets of what do I look for when there's 1,000 DVDs.
Because you can walk into a store and be like,
and if it's Forrest Gump, Caddyshack, things you see. Here's another tip: if you're at a pawn shop, thrift store, whatever, and you see 4 or 5 copies of something, it ain't rare.
yeah,
Don't look it up. It ain't rare. Lion King. Don't look it up. But Grind. It's settled a little bit. The first one we sold for $30. Ever since then, it's been like $18.99-ish range, $20-ish range. But Grindage, munching the Grindage, brah. Check out Grind.
That's one to look for. And another one to look for that we find a lot, and this one has been in some hunting videos, and that's Real Genius. This is another movie I have no idea what it's about.
Tell everybody who your favorite Batman is, though. Val Kilmer.
Nope. Not even close. He's probably second from last.
But he does play a major part in this movie.
Yeah.
And apparently he's smart.
He must be a real genius.
Yeah.
But we find this movie all the time. It goes for around $15, $16.
Yeah.
Which still, if you find it for $2.49 or less, that's a lot of profit. Just easy money.
And I don't know what it is about this movie. This is one of those rare ones that I actually have found, not the same day, but I found at the same store within like a couple days apart. And usually that's not a good sign, but for whatever reason, this must not be on streaming services yet because it's worth something. And I gotta ask you a question. I want you to lean in real close. Do you like being scared? Because Stephen King likes making scary books, and one of his movies, Rose Red, is a humdinger. $19.99 to $24.99.
Yes.
And we find it all the time.
This is actually a recent thing that we started finding.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it probably 6 months ago, but now we keep seeing them, and it's one of those things. Now that we know about it, we keep finding it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that Bloomington Normal Con, I think it's Burlington, it's Bloomington Normal Con. We met those fellas we were talking to that do the hunting thing as well. They're like, Rose Red, man, we freaking listened to you, we found it. Bang, bang! It's out there.
That's a great pick, and that's another movie I haven't seen.
If you can't
Well,
tell,
I'm
that's one that I said if you find them too many times, you don't get excited anymore. For whatever reason, when I see Rose Red, I'm like, let's fucking go.
You turn red.
Yeah. My
Like
wiener
a
turns
red.
red. But that's the stuff to be looking for. Those are some DVD tips. Hopefully you can apply this to your hunting endeavors. Don't spend a ton of time in the stores because time is money.
Yes.
I've got a little thing I do when I'm out hunting, and I push myself. One, niche down your scope. What are you looking for? For me, video games and DVDs. If you're looking for everything, you're going to end up with nothing because you're going to run out of time. No more than 10 minutes in each store. Get out. Get in, get out. Because if it ain't hot, somewhere else is.
You're going to miss some things. But
I guarantee you, every place we stop, we leave, whether it's a cup over there we didn't look at, a hoodie over there we didn't...
You're going to miss stuff.
Yeah.
But you can't spend hours a day in the store if you want to be efficient.
Get in and get out, and then set your threshold. If you're just now getting into this, don't put your goal where my goal is. My goal when I go out hunting, and if I'm not close or I'm not hitting it, I shut it down for the day. I aim to make $100 profit per hour. I aim to pay myself $100 an hour.
That's insane.
When I'm out hunting. And if I'm not off the mark, I either got to make some moves, I got to get faster, or I need to get my ass home. Because it's not a good day.
Yeah,
it ain't worth my time.
It's a dead day.
So find what that number is. You know, a couple years ago, I probably, had I been thinking that way, I probably would have said like, $40, $50. As you get better, though, you can challenge yourself, and it makes it fun, man. You keep an eye on the clock. You're like, dude, I'm only at freaking $48 this hour. I gotta go in. Just happened to me yesterday. Went in. I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do here? And the hunting god smiled upon me, and I found a Cleveland Browns brand new Nike hoodie. Yeah, $5. And I was like, that's how I'm gonna make my nut right there. That's how I'm gonna hit that hundo. So just get crazy with it. Set goals.
And
get after there.
The more you do it, the more you know, and the more you can expand. Because when we first started, we were just looking at video games.
Yep.
And then we started looking at movies, and now we're in VHS players and all this other stuff, and clothes apparently now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, once you know, and the more you know, the more you know.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. You're probably gonna have the graphic
Yeah,
pop in right here. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Editing.
There we go. Speaking of editing, what would you edit about this beer?
Wow. Okay.
Other than these amazing glasses.
Welcome to Bad Beer Month, Cheap Beer Month, Regular Joe Beer Month, whatever you want to call it.
Because bad beer might not be the operative. Because
it's cheap beer.
But most people think it's bad beer.
Well, compared to what we normally drink, it's bad. But this isn't bad. It's just different. This is this is PBR. A lot of people have had PBR.
Yeah.
It's been around since the 1800s, 1890, 1844 apparently. It's just a staple. It's just a simple American lager. I've had so much PBR in my life, and if you're in a band, this is usually the free beer.
Yep.
We've had this so many times playing shows.
Yeah.
It's just nice, clean, refreshing, crisp. It's July, so it's a good summer beer, a good day drinking beer.
There ain't no beer better than a free beer. Except for, do you remember that club we used to play at in Ames, Iowa?
Rolling Rock? Yeah, I knew exactly what you were talking about. They had a fridge full of it.
And after a couple of them, it's like, I think I'm going to go buy a beer. But Peeber Fever is running wild.
We should do Rolling Rock for one of these.
Oh, we might need to. One thing I want to say about this beer, I'll put a little blurb in up here. Early on in the channel, we did a bad beer bracket. It was around the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
It was a really fun episode.
Nobody watched it.
No, and, it was before we were even a notable thing, which that makes it sound like we are now, which we're still not. But it was really fun, and PBR made it really far in that bracket. And these were blind taste tests.
Blind taste tests. We had, 8 beers?
Schlitz, Old Milwaukee,
Budweiser.
Miller High Life, Budweiser, Hams.
Did you say Old Mill?
I did say Old Mill. Old Mill made it pretty far, too.
Old Mill did.
And this was blind. We had a buddy out, pouring them in the kitchen, bringing them in, unmarked glasses.
It was so fun. And it was weird how you could be like, I know what this is, or what is this?
If you got that feeling and you're watching this, you're like, oh, dude, PBR. What frustrates me about High Life PBR and even Old Milwaukee is a lot of people will see them and be like, oh, that beer's piss. And then they go drink their Bud Light.
Dude, I'd much rather drink those 3 than Bud Light.
100%. This is real beer, folks. And if you want to freaking get your 1960s dad mowing a lawn thing on, and you just want to taste a good American adjunct lager, PBR is up there. Yep. For American adjunct lagers, this is a top shelf beer. I'm going to say it right now, and I'm going to be proud about it. PBR is fucking kick-ass.
And if you're going to go out and buy it, buy the glass bottles.
Yeah.
Because you get playing cards on the cap.
Yeah.
Extra fun.
Yeah. And we're working on a display right now for the game room where we're going to have a whole 52-card deck.
Yeah. Who knows when we'll complete that, but...
Why would you put that in the game room? Because you're us. And because we can.
It's our channel. We
Yeah.
do what we want.
Yeah. So anyway, the ways we keep it fun. But anyways, guys, hopefully you can apply these tricks and tips. Keep your eyes peeled. Also, when you're at garage sales, we've said it before in hunting videos, but always ask.
Always ask, yes.
And I've actually started to refer to the Nintendo Wii by name. I said, do you guys have any video games, movies, anything like that? Or like a Nintendo Wii?
And
That's
then
usually my lead in. Because so many people have them, and so many people don't value them, and so many people will say, well, let me go dig it out of there and sell it to you, and whatnot. Always ask, keep your eyes peeled. The Wii is hot. The Wii games are hot. And then there's some low hangers. You might as well be looking for DVDs if you're out looking for video games.
And if you're a flipper, let us know in the comments below, like, what's something hot that you guys find that we didn't mention, because we are always learning and trying to. So let's just two-way street, guys.
It's an awesome way to help each other out, and I learn something every time that I watch another hunting channel, and I hope anybody that hunts or whatever that watches us learns something every time. That's what it is. Information is power, and it puts you in a better market position in this wild, wild west that is video game collecting in 2021. We appreciate you tuning in and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell too. The bell is fucking important.
Oh yeah.
The analytics.
Ring it.
We only got like 30% of you subscribers that have actually smashed the damn bell. Ring that sumbitch. It's like the Liberty Bell. Do you believe in freedom? Do you believe in video games? Do you believe in gaming off the grid? If you do, hit the goddamn Liberty Bell so that you get notifications for every episode. We'll see you next time right here on Ring Ding Dong. Ringing ding ding dong. Gaming off the grid.
I think that's pretty good. Whoa, 34 minutes.
Let's see here. What should I say?
Words.
Getting anxious, dude. Gotta have it. This is straight out of the 70s. Let's go. Ooh, and one beer doesn't quite fill it up, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Well,
good thing we have another one on deck.
yeah, here we go. Round 2. This is gonna be a fun one. Ooh, beat that, buddy.
Are you
10
serious? Yeah, look
clubs.
Have a pair.
One of the best part. Ooh, yep.
I win.
Well, it depends. If we're playing poker, we got what, 3 more beers to drink? And the market's also. I got a fucking cliffhanger that's driving me nuts.
Adrian.
Finding video games when you're out video game hunting in the wild is not quite what it used to be in 2021.